Hello, I'm Public Affairs Officer Lindsay Weisenauer, and I am joined by Sarah Harrison-Mills, Chief Clinical Officer at Santaro. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm happy to be here.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the services that Santaro offers in general and how you've adapted to the current times and what needs you're seeing right now.
Sure. Santaro is a nonprofit community behavioral health agency. We offer lots of different services to support the needs of our community. So we offer mental health and substance use disorder, outpatient counseling, case management, and psychiatry services. We also offer school-based prevention and early intervention services and work very closely with Dublin City Schools. We have a parenting program that provides education for parents of youth 0 to 8 through our early childhood mental health program. We do have LGBTQ specific programming and multiple different outreach programs with community partners. We also have a large older adult supportive services program and offer caregiver support for caregivers of older adults. All of our programs have transitioned to provide care through telehealth. We offer both telephone and video options. We are open for business. We have transitioned very quickly to continue to provide support for all of our established clients, and we are also open and welcoming new clients into all of our programs as well.
Fantastic. I know that mental wellness is always important, but I feel like right now it's very taxing for all of us. We're in week 2 of the stay-at-home order. Tell us a little bit about what you can do to cure cabin fever, stay sane, things like that.
Well, I think it's really important to remember that following the stay-at-home order is the best thing we can do to keep ourselves, our families, and our community safe. There's lots of ways to manage cabin fever. I think this is a great time to start a new hobby, read a book, find ways to connect with extended family and friends. It's a great time to build habits to support our own wellness, like incorporating physical activity, spending time daily doing relaxation activities like meditation or journaling or mindfulness. One of the things that I think can be most helpful for all of us is making sure that we establish a structure and a routine to our day. This can be especially important for kids. Having structures and routines can help them manage worries related to uncertainty, can help them kind of have a successful transition to the homeschooling and online learning platforms that kids are now transitioning to, and it helps them feel safe and supported.
We're seeing a lot of messages on TV and social media saying, "You're not alone, we're all in this together." Talk about how important that message is.
I think that message can be very powerful. We're experiencing this pandemic as a global community. Remembering that we're not alone and that people across the world are doing similar things and staying at home in efforts to try to help keep everyone safe. It's a wonderful time for us to embrace our connections as humans. So at a time where we're really trying to follow social distancing practices, remembering that being physically distant from people does not mean that we have to be socially disconnected. That there's lots of ways for us to stay connected with other people, and remembering that we're in this together, and that it takes all of us doing our part to really address this pandemic is going to be important.
We can't stress enough the importance of outreach, which, as you mentioned, is very difficult during these times when we're told to stay put. What are some ways that people can reach out to their neighbors while maintaining the physical distancing guidelines?
I've seen that people are getting really creative with this. So while technology can have its challenges and it can be difficult sometimes to manage, it actually is offering lots of opportunities for connection and support with people. I've heard of lots of people doing virtual book clubs or virtual happy hours, establishing group text messages to check in with people. I do think that some of the old standards of picking up the phone and calling people can be really helpful. Neighborhoods developing phone trees to check in, especially if there are seniors that are living alone and may experience more social isolation and loneliness during this time period. Finding ways to link them with other neighborhood members to try to establish ongoing communication and connection and to touch base with them regularly can be really important. Even just writing a card to let people know we're thinking of them, finding ways to maybe establish pen pal relationships. I've heard about people reaching out to their churches and trying to identify seniors that may be living alone that could benefit from establishing a pen pal type relationship with somebody in the community, so that there is a way to know that people are thinking about them and care about them and want to make sure that they're getting support and opportunities for connection during this time.
Great ideas. I think it's fair to say that all of us, or most of us, are feeling some level of loneliness, isolation, anxiety, stress right now, and that's normal. And as we said, we're all in this together. But when is it a good idea to seek professional help?
Yeah, I definitely want to normalize that fear. Anxiety right now is very normal given the circumstances that we're living in. And it's important for people to recognize that it's okay to not be okay, and to acknowledge that we are faced with some pretty significant challenges and don't have all of the tools and resources that we typically would have to help ourselves manage these and navigate these new waters. I would encourage people to seek help if they are finding difficulty managing their fears, or feeling that their worries are taking over their lives. So if you're finding that you really are not able to distract yourself from your worries, or that they're really pervasive throughout your day, that may be an indication that it could be helpful to seek some professional help. You should also seek help if you're experiencing any significant changes in your sleeping habits or eating patterns, and if those have been sustained for a period of time. If you find that your mood has just been really low, that you're not really enjoying things that you typically would enjoy, that you really don't have a lot of interest in pursuing activities, even though those might be virtual now with this new platform that we're navigating. But if you find yourself just withdrawing from people and wanting to be alone and feeling down most of the days, those are also indicators. For kids, we would see things like excessive crying or irritation, maybe some regressive behaviors. So if they had previously successfully managed toilet training or sleeping alone in their own bed, and you're finding that there's some shifts in that behavior where they're having more accidents, bedwetting, having difficulty staying in their own bed all night, or if they're really clingy during the day, if they're showing excessive worry or sadness, if there's been increased irritability or acting out, some of that's going to be normal. But as you start to settle into the new routine in our building structures, if those things are continuing, it may be a sign that professional help can help address some of those concerns.
And if someone does want to reach out to Santaro, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys right now?
So we have maintained our office operations, and we are open the same hours we typically are. So we do have our intake department taking client calls to learn about what programs and services are available and how to access them. So the easiest way is to call our intake department. The phone number is 614-889-5722, extension 133. We have people available ready to take live calls. We are also able to return calls within the same business day. And so that is going to be the best way to talk about what your needs are, and they can help you get connected with the right service or program.
Great. And my last question, we're seeing a lot of memes, social media feeds just filled with people joking about drinking every day, even starting at noon. There's a wine with DeWine. I've seen T-shirts, people just saying that they're getting a glass of wine and watching the governor's news conference daily. And it's a funny way for people to get through this and feel some camaraderie. Is this harmless, or what do you think there is for a concern for any kind of substance abuse at this time?
I think that's a really great question. Humor can be a great way to help us all alleviate anxiety and lighten the mood. I've seen lots of different memes that are helping to make sense of what we're experiencing and kind of offer that shared collective experience we're having. However, turning to alcohol or drugs as a way to cope with this challenge can create additional stress and difficulties for us. I would strongly discourage people from turning to alcohol or other drugs as a way of coping with what's happening in our world. This is the perfect time to really focus on incorporating wellness strategies that will help our brain and our body prepare for and cope with what we're experiencing. I also want to make sure that people know that there are a lot of online resources available, including online support groups. We are going to be having an online support group for people to help support their recovery and sustaining their sobriety if they do have concerns related to alcohol or other drug use.
Sarah, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think it's just important to remember that we are, as human beings, we are social beings, and that we have to do everything we can to stay connected to people. I think it's important to reframe the social distancing to physical distancing, finding ways to socially connect with people while we're following the stay-at-home orders and following the physical distancing guidelines to keep ourselves and others safe. But that doesn't mean we can't connect with people. So be creative, think outside the box, find ways to connect with other people. Our own mental health and wellness can be benefited by contributing and giving back to others. So finding ways to reach out to our neighbors, to reach out to people who maybe are living alone or maybe experience increased isolation and loneliness related to this would be really good. It helps not only them to know that people are out there caring about them, but it also can benefit our own mental health as well.
Thank you, Sarah. I know you're really busy right now and really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.